Hey guys, welcome back here to my channel, and today I'm cracking on with this micro map challenge that I've set for the last couple of weeks of April. And basically it's a 10 by 10 tile map, and the only ride on here is the top spin, and it's your job to theme it or do something with it. And I wanted to give this one a go as well. I love doing micro maps because I feel like they're really manageable to do in a short time. And I wanted to challenge myself a little bit and see how quick I could put something together. And overall, this whole thing took me about an hour and 40 minutes, but I did it over 2 days. And I recorded the footage as always, and I'm just going to show you a quick time lapse of me putting it together. And I wasn't really sure what I was going to do, to be honest, but I did feel like doing some sort of like an Asian theme, a bit, a bit overdone, but I wanted to give it a go anyway, just to see what I could kind of do. I thought it'd be quite nice here to have like a waterfall feature in front of it. It's just the only thing I didn't like is that I've done it a little bit off center, which really like makes my OCD struggle, but it's okay, it's fine, we're gonna figure it out. But it is a little bit to one side. I wish it was more centered over the top spin, but it's just the way it worked out with how I did the queue line, and I didn't want to like go back and redo all that stuff once I already did it. I'm going to leave the top spin white for now, and then once I've kind of figured out what I'm doing theming wise around it, I will figure out the colors, etc. Of course, there are some great themed top spins out there. Some examples would be Telecan from Fantasyland, of course, Tomb Raider, that one looked great as well, and even the NYC Transformer for Movie Park has some good theming on it as well, which is a nice classic top spin. So I wanted to try and do something really nice with this one, and yeah, I'm just kind of playing around to see what I can do. So now obviously I've got this Asian theme kind of in my head. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do, how I'm going to dress it up, and I thought it'd be nice to have this little viewing platform here over the waterfall. So I love that about Talakan at Fantasyland. It does have this kind of this walkway platform above the ride where you can kind of stand and watch and see all the people down below getting on the ride, etc. Which I think is really, really cool, and I really like that. So I wanted to have something similar. And I did actually set this map up with the top spin actually being lower than the entrance to the park, or the two entrances that are on either side. I did that because I wanted to kind of make it a little bit different. I didn't want it to all just be flat land. I wanted to see what you guys maybe came up with the change in terrain height, and to see how you dealt with that. So that's why I did it like that. I'm using the Asian mod set here just to try and get some really cool pieces. I'm just figuring out kind of how to do this. This current building, I wasn't really feeling it. It was just a bit blocky and square, and it just didn't look right. So I'm going to play around a little bit with that and try and make it just a little bit more different, to make it fit a little bit more nicely in that gap that I've got there. But basically I wanted to do one on this side to kind of theme up the one tower side of the top spin, and then I wanted to do a similar type building for the actual entrance up where the kind of viewing platform is. Of course, as well, I wanted to try and make the queue line look really kind of a bit more organic, make it look a bit more natural, and it's not as elaborate as the one I've done on my Mac Hypercoaster build. If you've watched those videos recently, you'll know what I'm talking about. There I really tried to make a really natural looking queue line. I really took it off the grid, still had it functional, but I wanted to get that queue line to be really like just, wavy and curvy and go off in different directions. Obviously, because the queue lines that you build in-game are very gridded, they are one tile big, and you can only go back and forward, it's not, you can't do diagonals. So I'm putting in some path covers here, also terrain covers, to try and make this look a little bit more kind of natural looking. And then of course, I've used the, it's kind of like the half tile with a curve on one side, as you can see on the edge of the map. I use those to get rid of the unwanted in-game automated fences. Again, on the actual top spin itself, I've toggled off the fences so I can do my own, and then I'm just using the terrain covers there as well, just to kind of just take off some of those square edges and make it look a little bit more natural. I don't know what I'm doing here. This is just some sort of step thing that I've put on the back. I want to put some sort of theming on there, but I'm not really quite sure what yet, so I'm going to leave that for now and come back to it later on. I'm not liking that arch that I've put there at all, so I'm going to get rid of that. But I wanted to have like a little theming element behind the ride. I didn't want to completely build a huge wall or anything. Talakan is completely in like a building, and so when you sit on the back side of it, because it's an inverted, it's one of those floorless top spins. If you sit on the back, you actually face a wall, and then it's actually very confusing when you're going upside down, but it's really, really cool. And this one, obviously, you all face in one direction, but I still wanted to have a little something behind it. This really reminds me of Ramesses Revenge, which used to be at Chessington World of Adventures, that had like an Egyptian theme to it, and it had this cool little structure behind it as well. And also thinking of that, I'm also thinking of Ripsaw from Alton Towers, which also had a really cool theme actually, and that also had like a little kind of ruined building behind the actual topspin itself, which kind of created like a little near miss type element. So I'm just playing around with some foliage. I wanted to try and get some cherry blossom trees in there to kind of, you know, add to that Asian theme that I'm going for. And then just some general foliage here from the Max Freaks Foliage Essentials 2 mod. It's got some nice pieces in there, so I'm going to use those to kind of fill in some areas and get some nice tropical terrain in there in places. So now I'm just going to continue on with like the actual entrance kind of marquee building. I do know what I've forgotten to do, and that's to put like a logo sign on the front of it for the actual entrance. Maybe I should go back and do that. I've just realized now that I'm doing the voiceover for this video, that I've completely forgotten to do that. But that should be something I should do. There are a few details that I have maybe not done, just because I was treating this as more of like a speed build than actually like taking my time to put in as many lovely details as possible. I just wanted to see how quick I could actually put something together. With a theme and kind of, you know, do the whole thing. And so yeah, I was kind of giving myself a bit of a time limit. Like I said, it took an hour and 40 minutes to completely do the whole thing. That's probably with going to the toilet in between as well. But yeah, I wanted to just try and do it as quick as I could, but still not, you know, still make something good. I don't know if it's my best work that I've done, but I do think it's okay. In the end anyway, it turns out to be okay. I'm using these really cool textured walls here from the textured wall mod set. Which I thought would be really nice to put along there. Add some windows and do some canopies, etc. to make it look like there's maybe some little kind of rooms, or like maybe some places where people can stay underneath there, theming wise anyway. I've put a black wall behind them there so you can't see the terrain through the windows, and I'm just adding in some of those nice little canopy things from the details. And yeah, I'm just trying to kind of figure out what to do. Thought I'd add some rock trims around the bottom just to make it look a little bit better than just having that wall just kind of bluntly ending there at the water. So I think that looks much better as well. And I'm going to kind of do something similar now with some bigger rock pieces for the rest of those walls. This is actually the exit path here going up the side. It's not my favorite. I don't think it looks that great, but what can you do, eh? Sometimes you have to do things that maybe you don't like, but I don't really see another option for that exit line, to be honest, at the moment. And for the other tower on the top spin, so on side I've got the nice little kind of structure. On this side, I didn't want to do another one. I felt like the gap was too small, and I just thought it might look a bit strange having like three, because you've got the entrance one quite close by as well. So I decided just to do some rocks. Very simple, I know, but I thought rocks would be quite cool there, just to kind of tower up the side there. And I think it kind of works. So I'm going to add some foliage around there as well. And I've just been adding some rope details there as well, hanging from the edge there of the walls. And then I thought I'd dress up these walls a little bit by adding in some ivory. Just kind of change the color a little bit, make it a little bit darker there because it was very bright green before. And yeah, just going to add some ivy all over this wall here just to make it look a little bit more interesting as well. So I've just skipped ahead a little bit. I've just added a wall trim around the entire map just to make it look a little bit more neat and tidy. I really like it when the maps have this. I think it looks really cool and very polished. So I just wanted to do something there as well with that. And I'm just adding in a path cover here on the top there to tie in the texture with the bottom of the top spin. So I think that looks much cleaner and better as well. I've added in some the burial mound. I've coloured those green and just added them around some of the rocks there around the top. You'll see that in a second again. Some more ivy there on some of the structures as well, just to tie it in a little bit better. And then yeah, I've still got to do this little piece of theming on the back there, which I'll come to in a second. The platform's looking quite cool. I'm enjoying that. I'm just going to add some details on the top spin itself now, just to kind of add some extra like things and colours and stuff. So just adding in some discs, changing the colours of those just to make it look a little bit better. I've got a cylinder here to put across the middle. Obviously the ride rotates around that pole, so it's never going to move. So you can actually add something on it and it will still look good when the ride's actually moving. So you don't need to worry about that clipping or getting in the way. And then on the back here, I've decided to go for one of these Japanese I think the Japanese, I'm sorry if they're not, a gate, you know, these red gates. I know they have a proper name and I can't think what they're called. Let me know down below in the comment section what they're called, because I really can't remember. But I just thought I'd do one of these kind of like these gates here, like the nice red ones. Nothing too crazy, it's quite simple, but I think it looks very effective and it looks really nice there, sitting behind the topspin, which I think it's got a nice colour scheme now as well, with these kind of burnt orange colours, which ties in very nicely there with the foliage and with that kind of red gate as well. And then I just felt like this whole area at the top here was just a bit square and boring. I just wanted to add some more curves to it, make it look a little bit more interesting. So I'm just gonna like add some curvy path covers in there, try and make this look a little bit more like a wavy path. So I'm just gonna block off this whole back area here, which actually worked out really well because it covered up the delivery and the trash pads as well. I'm gonna make those green, so they're gonna have, I will have them as like a planter area. And then I just need to put some trims now around those areas so that I can add some foliage into them so guests don't actually walk there. And that's now made that path up the top there look a little bit more natural and less blocky and square, to add a little bit more curve to it, which I think looks much better. So adding in the foliage, I'm using banana plants, the bamboo little trees there as well, and there's some general spiky plants. Same plants I've used throughout the whole thing. I like to kind of keep all my plants cohesive and not add any random plants that I haven't really used because they maybe stick out a little bit. And then the last thing kind of to do here is to add some lovely lights around the map. This is just natural path lighting. I'm going to add in some like kind of coloured lighting as well for a nighttime, which I kind of did too much, I think. You'll see in a second as well, but that's generally like the whole map now kind of done. I hope you like it. It's not the most amazing map in the world, but I do think it's okay. It's got a nice aesthetic. I like how it looks. I think the little buildings I did there look quite cool as well. And the top spin is definitely the feature of this map, which is really nice. I just decided to add some fire effects in actually, because I didn't really do any effects. So I'm just going to add some fire on the back, and I'm just going to trigger those a little bit so that when the ride is going round, it squirts some fire out every now and then. And it's just at the back of the ride as well, which is kind of cool. Adds to this whole little gate theming thing that I've done there at the back. So that's me just doing the like triggers there. I didn't do anything too crazy with the triggers. It just goes off every now and then. And I'm just taking some screenshots now. But I just wanted to check out the lighting, add some red orbs in. I like to hide the orbs within the rocks so that you can't actually see the lights, but at night time they still glow, which is very nice. And I thought red lighting suited this really well. So as you can see now, I've added some very dramatic red lighting in there. I'm just going to leave you now with some screenshots of the kind of final map. There is maybe a couple more details I could add in, but I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to give me a like and a subscribe if you're not subscribed to my channel already. I really do appreciate it. And feel free to check out some of my other videos here on my channel where I do some really cool kind of theme park build projects. And I'll see you all next time here on my channel for another video. Bye bye.